Welcome to the V. Lenore Show. Here, we will discuss lifestyle, beauty, celebrity gossip, and current events in our own way, my way, V style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hi, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Today is Tuesday, terrific Tuesday, and I'm happy to be back. Let's see who's in the chat. Hey, AP. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to V-Style memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, Cool Gamer. Hey, It's All Hot Air. Hey, Shell Loves. Thank you, darling, for becoming a member. I so appreciate you. Thank you. Kareem the Trucker is a member. Thank you, Kareem the Trucker. And our special guest for the evening. Hey, Penny, how are you? Welcome. Hope everybody's having a great day. Look, you know what's weird? I can't see all the messages. Like I can see California Girl is right there, but I can't really see her whole message. That's weird. Oh well. StreamYard's been tripping lately. Anywho, hope everybody's having a good one. Today has been an interesting day for me, actually. Got some really interesting news that I just refuse to get worked up about. Because God is in control. So just keep me in your prayers, everyone. I'm kind of dealing with some health stuff. Had a little episode over the weekend with the flare, which is why we did not go live on Saturday. So I apologize. That's really my fault. And so when the ladies come tonight, hopefully we can schedule some time this week to make up for the show that we didn't do this weekend. But right now, I don't want to go into any details, and a lot of it's speculation right now. So we're just trying to figure out what's going on. But I just ask that keep me in your prayers and just send positive vibes. All right. So this was a good distraction tonight to be coming back and to have our special guest here this evening, who is an expert in the field of trucking. So he's going to come on, and I know that we started this conversation. Actually, Kareem, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for you now here in the chat. And everyone in the chat, this link is only for Kareem. And then I'm probably going to just delete it once he's up here. But we started this conversation over on Coupon Therapy's channel a few weeks back. And we got into this discussion about how to get into that field with the fact that the demands are really high right now within the transportation industry in particular. And, let's, try to figure out how we can get our hands on some of those dollars. Because the truth of the matter is somebody's going to make this money. Why not it be us and bringing it back to our community? So, look, we have Dispatch Trucking Logistics LLC is in the chat. How about that? So thank you for coming, Dispatch Trucking Logistics. Welcome. Hey, Tweety. Welcome, and thank you for becoming a member, Tweety. Yay. Thank you so much. And Grace K, you are a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member as well. So, anywho, everybody, just start to think about what questions you have as Kareem and I kind of walk through some of this information. And look, I'm just like all of you. I know very little about this business. I want to learn about the business. And I think I'm going to have some of the same questions that you're going to want to know. But in the meantime, start thinking of your questions. Don't start typing them in the chat just yet. There will be times throughout where I'll ask you guys to just sort of share what questions you might have if we haven't already covered some of it, okay? Because I hate when people ask questions and it sort of takes the speaker off of their train of thought as to how they wanted to lay out the information. So let's allow Kareem to lay out as much as he wants to first. And then as we gather data and we have more questions as we go along, we'll look in the chat for that, okay? Hey, Cass Will. Hey, Brooklyn Dior. And California Girl, I didn't speak to you. I said I saw your name. Hey, California Girl. Yes, did I speak? Hey, Cherise. Did I speak there? Fedora is a member. Thank you, beautiful mod and member. Thank you. Hey, Onyx Blue is here. If I didn't mention your name, please forgive me. Hi, Aleo Beauty. How beautiful. Aleo Beauty. I love your avatar too. Thank you for becoming a member. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about memberships, maybe towards the end of this live. However, I did share a link at the top of the chat. It's pinned at the top if you would like to join memberships. Actually, let me just give you a brief overview. Kareem, I see you back there. Just give me one more minute, and then we'll have you come on. Really quickly, the tiers right now, we have 3 tiers, okay? We have our first level tier, which is the $3.99 tier. With that, we will have often have members only lives, members only chats that you'll be able to participate in, different postings. If I find something of interest, you're going to see a lot of my content it's not really changing. I'm adding to the content. So there'll be a lot of things and information that I hope to be sharing when I come on that I want to be able to post to those member chat boards. So if you are a member, you will have access to that. And then occasionally we'll have like an open Zoom. Okay. Hi, Sarkonos. Thank you for becoming a V-Style lover. Thank you so much for being a member. And Newborn Girl, thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Okay, so that's the first level. That's the $3.99 tier. The next tier is $7.99 tier. With the $7.99 tier, you will have access to all of those things that I just named. We will also have weekly Zooms. Once a week, I will have a members only Zoom for this tier and above. And then once a month, I will make sure that one of my special guests of the month will come on and do a Q&A with us, a private Q&A on Zoom. Okay. Sometimes I might do those Q&As where they are members only across the board. Sometimes it's going to be this tier and above. Okay. Thank you, California Girl, for joining. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Okay. So that is the $7.99 tier. I think that's everything for that. And then for the $14.99 tier, we too will have weekly Zooms. You will have all the same benefits that I named from the prior two tiers. And then of course there will be private Zooms with special guests. So it'll be like an interview that we'll just have privately with a special guest from time to time. And then I also want to meet with members of that level so we can together decide on something else that we can do that's exclusive to that tier. So, with membership has its privileges, and the higher the tiers, the more privileges you get. So thank you, everybody, though. Everybody who is here. If you just don't join anything, honey, just come over here and click, give me a click and a view and a little comment here and there, a little like, share, subscribe. I'm happy. Okay. All right. So with that said, thank you, everybody. Hey, Asia Graves. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the expert of the evening. Okay. It is truck driving extraordinaire himself, Kareem the trucker. Yes. Hi, Kareem.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good, good, good. Oh, Asia Graves, yes. Oh, you know what, Asia? Let me just say this. Well, first of all, you know my hair tutorial will be very quick, very quick. Okay, so I don't have any hair. I wouldn't mind doing makeup from time to time, but again, I don't do it the way industry says you're supposed to. I just do what works for me. But I will do that. But Asia, I want you to also know that also I'm going to start doing some vlogs, if you will. And I want to say that my highest tier memberships will probably see those vlogs first because I want to run it by them, get their input, and then see how to continue moving forward. But just so you know, I thought about you, Asia Grace, because you were the one telling Coupon and I that we need to start doing vlogging. So vlogging is next. All right. So Kareem, are you in the truck as we speak?
I am.
How fitting. How fitting. Are you
Right.
Are you on the road right now?
Yes, I'm south of Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly where I'm going next. I just made a delivery about 3 hours or so ago. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Okay. So are you driving some more tonight then? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm done for today.
You're done for the day, but tomorrow you'll go someplace else. Got it.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, cool. Well, Kareem, where do we start? Like, I have so many questions and I'm ready to make money tomorrow, but I don't think I can do it that fast. But where
Right.
do we even start with this? You know, I know what I would like to hear first and foremost. Let's just hear a little bit about your career. How long have you been in the field and what brought you into this field? Did you always know you wanted to do it?
Well, first, let me say thank you for having me.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I started in 2004, and I've done a little bit of everything in trucking, not as much as I would have liked to,
Mhm.
but I don't really have any complaints. I'm a third generation truck driver. My dad currently still drives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my grandfather drove Brock truck, is like dump truck, around in Detroit for about 32 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my dad's been driving pretty much all my life. So it's been in me. You know, I'm a big truck, car, motorcycle fan because of my dad. He's into the same type stuff. So the first time I ever got in a truck, I think I was in maybe the third grade. So
And I was going to ask you. So, so before that, did you know, like, oh my gosh, you know, I want to go with dad and do what daddy does, or, you know, what did you think before that?
honestly, when I was when I was a little boy, I wanted to be like my dad. So I definitely wanted to be a truck driver. But then after a while, it started to wane, and I think around like maybe ninth grade or so, I wanted to be an anesthesiologist.
Oh,
But
wow.
once I graduated high school and started looking at how much it would be to go to school, I just didn't want to do that. So I just kind of reverted back to what I love and know, and no regrets.
And look, to become an anesthesiologist, my gosh, the time you'd have to go to school and hope that you would make the money that you're making right now.
Exactly.
Especially with all those student loans and whatnot, you know.
Yep.
But okay, so you've been driving for 18 years then, and you said you've done just about everything in trucking. So with that said, this is all I know about trucking. Your truck driver, you got your person who dispatches, right, the work, Maybe it's the person who owns the authority itself, who maybe that truck driver works for and is making these deliveries on behalf of. Are there any other roles that I'm missing? I'm sure there are.
That's pretty much basically it, other than a broker.
Okay, so let's talk about that too. So the broker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll get to that. I'm just trying to write down all this stuff. So you got your owner, or the authority owner. You've got your broker. You've got your driver. You've got your dispatcher.
Right.
Okay. Where would you like to start this conversation? Because I don't want to start the wrong place.
We can pretty much start anywhere. They're all uniquely different, but pretty much run hand in hand together. Basically one hand feeds the other, so we all work together in unison. And so wherever you want to start, I'm completely okay with it.
Okay, so for the most part, let's say I want to own my own trucking authority, and the trucking authority is the you define it better than me if I get this wrong. This is
Okay.
the company that is contracting out the work, or getting the work basically contracted to them, and then they are in turn subcontracting potentially or employing drivers to make these runs for them, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's the authority owner. Now that owner, he or she doesn't have to know how to drive a truck, right?
No, you don't have to know how to drive a truck, but I would suggest that if you do want to start a trucking company, make sure that you are someone that you really, really trust has a commercial driver's license, just in case.
Okay. What about does this person have to own trucks?
No.
Because whoever they subcontract out as drivers may have their own vehicles, correct?
Right. And they can just run under your authority. So you would say, hey, I have my trucking company, I'm insured. If you have a trucking trailer, you can run under my authority. I'll give you 82% of whatever the load pays that you run. And you just work a deal with that driver, and you don't have to own the equipment at all, but you can be a trucking company.
Okay, so if I don't own any trucks, what all do I have to have in place to run this company? Obviously, I have to be registered with the Secretary of State in some states. So that's the first thing. Register your business. Get your tax ID number for your business. Right. And I'm guessing get some liability insurance.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have insurance.
Okay. So
you're going to need cargo insurance and liability, just to cover your, the equipment, just in case something should happen. And you definitely have to have, you can't even book and get a load without cargo insurance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are we talking in costs there for like cargo insurance or liability insurance? Oh, and how much coverage do I know to get?
It depends on the type of freight that you want to haul. If you want to, typically you want to stay in anywhere between, to be on the safe side, between $250,000 to $1 million insurance policy.
This is for the liability?
This is for everything that's included. Insurance.
Everything included is $250,000?
Right, between $250,000 to $1 million policy.
Okay. And roughly, what do you think that would run monthly for like $1 million policy? Just curious.
It depends. Each insurance company is very different. It's kind of like same thing with car insurance. You may get a quote here, and it's one price for the same type of policy that you would get a quote be different somewhere else. So it's really hard to say. A lot of insurance companies don't want you to start off too big, so they won't. There are some that won't even take you on if you have more than 5 trucks. So it's kind of hard to say. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait, if you don't have more than 5, or if you do have more than 5?
If you're just starting out, you're a new you're a new company, you're a new trucking company, and you have more than 5 trucks, they don't really want to take you on. They want to know that they want to see stability. They want you to, start off small and then gradually grow. Because what happens is sometimes if you start out with 10 trucks, they give you a policy to cover those 10 trucks, and you tank, within, the year or 6 months, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they want you to start off with, maybe 1 or 2 trucks and then gradually grow. Now they'll tell you, we'll start off here, and then within 6 months, if you want to add on, you can add on. It just depends on the insurance company. So they're real finicky, and it's hard to say. Some guys I've heard got a quote for $20,000, to get started. And then there's others who get quoted $50,000 for a policy to get started for the entire year. So it just depends on the truck insurer that you speak to.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
outside of setting up your business costs and then your insurance, what else? I heard you say that you would want to get registered in the states in which you're going to be transporting cargo. But registered how? You mean register with the Secretary of State in each of those states?
No. When you're setting up your authority, the paperwork that's going to be filed is going to be your registration. So it's a cab registration, and it goes inside of your portfolio that stays inside of the truck. You'll have a copy of it as well, and it'll show on there each state that you're registered in. It'll all be on one registration sheet. So if you're only going to run the south,
that's for the driver.
No, that's for the trucking company.
The company who owns the truck, or who has the contract for the cargo?
No. That's for the owner of the trucking company, but that registration has to be in the truck. Okay. So you'll have a copy of it, and the driver will have a copy of it inside the truck.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so how do you so again, how and where are you registering your company?
So that has to go through FMCSA, and that's the FMCSA. And that's the federal.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was about to ask.
That's the Federal Motor Carriers Association, basically.
So thank you.
Right. So that's the government that we deal with in order to register and make sure that we're compliant and everything's up to date, and you're legally operating your trucking business.
Okay, got you. All right. And then does it cost to set that up to register for every state?
There's a cost to it, but if you file yourself, it depends. Some people say it's not that hard to do. Some people say it is. They'd rather just outsource it. It's cheaper if you file it yourself, but me personally, whenever I've done it, I've always paid someone who does it, constantly all the time. It's just easier for me to let them handle it, because if something isn't right, they're gonna, let you know, hey, this wasn't filled out properly, this is incorrect. You just have to go through the process. So it's a lot easier to let someone who knows how to do that, just let them handle it. And that can range. You can get that done for anywhere between, I've seen as cheap as $300 all the way up to $1,500. It just depends on how much you want them to do. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. For them to do it. But would they be doing it possibly for multiple states at one time for you, and you could pay them a lump sum potentially to handle that?
Yes. Okay. When you pay them that lump sum, they're going to ask you a few questions. They're going to ask you, what states do you want to run in? You tell them all 48, then they'll put that on there. They'll file your all the documents that you're going to need. They'll do that. They'll do it for you.
Okay. And then how often do you have to do that? Is that something that has to be updated every year or every 4 years? How's that work?
Every year. Yep. Every year you have to re-register. You have to pay your road tax, which is through the state that you're registered in. You have to pay your road tax and, re-register every single year.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
What other costs do I need to consider?
If
Obviously, a
you're starting your
laptop and a cell phone. I remember that conversation for some of the other
right,
jobs, but I would guess for this one too. You need if you're going to have this business, you need a laptop and a telephone.
absolutely, and you want to have a really good uh truck like software program so
Okay.
that you can stay. Yeah, you can stay. You want to have everything put together because at some point within your first year, DOT is going to do an audit on you. And basically, what they do is they come to your home and they want to make sure that everything is compliant. So you want to make sure it's extremely important that you have good trucking software so that you can keep up with everything because you have to file literally everything, receipts, make sure that you're staying compliant, and you really want to stay on top of everything. You have to be extremely focused in this business. So if you're going to start your own trucking business, make sure that you have a good trucking software to really help guide you through to make the process, a lot easier.
So give us a couple of names of some software that we should be considering.
Oh goodness. There's one that everyone likes to use. I think it's I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Shoot, I'd have to get back to you on that one. I ain't even gonna lie. But there's
Okay.
a few.
Okay.
So
Wait, hold
mhm.
on. I see Dispatch Trucking Logistics has IFTA. I don't know what that's referring to. What is IFTA?
I believe that they're referring to the IFTA.
Oh yeah, IFTA. So what's IFTA?
IFTA is basically what I was saying earlier about it's part of it's considered your registration.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. And then what are UCR fees? Hi, White Carter girl.
UCR fees.
UCR fees, yeah.
But can they be more? I'm not really sure exactly what they want me to speak on when it comes to that.
Okay. White Carter girl,
Yeah.
you heard that? Just be a little more detailed. Let us know what you're asking. ELD equipment. What's that? What is Dispatch Trucking Logistics referring to?
ELD equipment is basically this is how we keep track of our time. So if you have to have that as long as the truck is I believe it's got to be 2000 and newer. You're required to have an ELD. It's an electronic logging device.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Okay. Got you.
So that will go in the truck.
And Keep Trucking, is that the name of a software?
Yes, they have software. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keep Trucking.
That's basically you can do your ELD on Keep Trucking. There's a few others. That's one of them that
How much?
you can.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how much does the software cost?
It varies. Now with the ELD itself, that you pay a monthly fee, and again, it depends on which service you use. You can use your cell phone. For a while, I was just using my cell phone, and I was paying $29 a month. So it just depends on what you want to do. But it's a good thing to have because that also keeps you compliant, and it lets you. It's almost like a GPS tracker as well, so you'll know exactly where your truck is, if it's moving, not moving, those types of things. So, but it's required that we have them.
Shell, I saw that earlier, and I remember at the time we were talking about. I think I was asking something about. It was regarding insurance, I think it was, maybe. But we were talking about that, and I saw Dispatch Trucking Logistics had dropped in the chat something about interstate and intrastate. And I don't know if we were talking about insurance at that time or if we were talking about something else. So Dispatch Trucking Logistics, when you can remember, put in the chat what we were talking about at that time. Oh, okay. One quick thing, Dispatch Trucking Logistics also said BLC is the UCR blanket company for compliance.
Right. That's what's going to go in your filing. Your BOC is what you're gonna. It'll be part of your filing. So that's something that has to be filed so that they know how to help register your business correctly. That has to be filed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I see. And yeah, it's called Unifier Carrier Registering or something like that. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So if I have my computer, my phone, my insurance is in place, I'm registered in every state that I want to do business in, I have my software in place, I'm good to go. I can start my company if I'm a driver?
You can start. Yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a step to the side. What's the broker do?
The broker is the one that you will be getting your loads from. So what they do is, just like, you will be there, they have to have insurance, they have to be compliant. Just like you, they have to have the licenses basically to be able to broker loads. So what they do is they go to shippers and they say, hey, do you have any freight that, I can move for you? The shipper says yes or no, and they basically give them the loads. They negotiate the rates with them, then they pass it on to the truck driver. So that's who you'll be dealing with mostly, unless you can get your own customers. 9 times out of 10, you're going to start out dealing with a broker or brokers. So that's who you'll be getting in contact with to get your freight to put on that truck to get it moved to where it needs to be.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how do I know a good broker versus somebody who's just going to be shysty and run off with my money or give me bad information? Or, how do I get around that? How do I ensure that I get proper references for some of these people I'm trying to do business with?
Well, what you want to do is you want to get with a good, reputable load board. Like I don't know if you remember, but I had mentioned DAT load board is the largest load board in the country, DAT.
Mm-hmm.
So you can download that on your phone, laptop, computer, and that's one of a few that you can use. There's 123 load board. There's truck stop load board, and they'll have ratings for the brokers. So you'll be able to see the ratings for each broker. If they how many days it takes them to pay out, things like that. They have a membership tier for that as well. So the higher the membership, the more you can see. So I would say you want to start, if you can't find your own customers, try to get on that load board and have maybe 2 or 3 more after that to back up. But what usually happens is all the load boards are going to have pretty much the same loads. So that's why a lot of people use that, because it's the largest. So it's still good to have those other load boards just in case you see it on a different load board for more money. Then you can go on and say, hey, I found it on this, load board. This is what you offering for it, and negotiate the rate instead of just getting it, because they'll do that sometimes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I would definitely say start at that load board, DAT, and that's where you can get your loads. It's a lot more detailed. You can see everything. That way you won't have to worry about dealing with a broker that don't want to pay out, or don't try to stay with the national average. Always want to be below it. Things like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So so we know what the owner does and all the owner needs. Now we know where to get our loads through our broker, or we're out here on the DAT load board, so we're out there, we're ready to go. How do I find the right drivers? What if I'm not a driver and I want to own this trucking company? Well, let me go back. No, wait. Before I get to the drivers, let's talk about the dispatcher. So what is the duty of the dispatcher outside of, hey, we got to pick up on this? Or, I don't even know what it would sound like or look like. What does that look like?
If you're running your own trucking company, you can be your own dispatcher. You can call your driver and say, hey, I found a load for you. This is where it's going. This is what it is. And, that's you being a dispatcher, because if anything, let's say like a lot of food products get delivered early morning, late night.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they charge a fee to unload the trailer. Mm-hmm. So that driver may call you at 2:00 in the morning and say, hey, I got a lumper fee. We call it a lumper fee. And it's $150. You say, okay, you grab the money, just set aside for that and send it to the driver via EFS check or com check, or load it on a card that he has, and he can pay that way, So basically, you're like the middleman. So you can outsource, being a broker, or you can be a broker for yourself, or you can, a dispatcher, or you can be a dispatcher for someone else. But basically, the dispatcher is just the in-between person that handles what the driver needs.
Okay. Okay. So as you mentioned, that might easily be the owner if the owner's not driving and it's not crazy, a huge, gigantor trucking company. I could probably do that myself. Okay.
Yes, you can dispatch your trucks. Yes.
Now, as far as drivers are concerned, let's just say I don't even want to own my own company yet, and I probably wouldn't even know where to begin if I'm a new driver. I just know that I want to drive, right? So what's the first thing that a person needs to do? Do they have to have a GED to get their CDL?
It's a very good question. I'm not 100% sure about that because I've never really looked into it. So I don't want to lie to you.
Seems to me, you know what? I kind of sort of think I know the answer to this. If I were to go out on a limb, I would probably say you might need it here in my state. I could be wrong though, but it feels like I knew some guys that definitely knew they wanted to drive, but they didn't have their GEDs and had to get that so that they could do it. But I could be wrong. But okay, so let's say you get your CDL. How do you get your CDL? If I know that I want one, how do I get it?
There's ways you can go about it. Some colleges offer CDL training where you can get your license through the community college. Mm-hmm. There are some that are just training schools that are, doesn't have anything to do with your local community college. They just have a truck driving, training school. Mm-hmm. You can go that route, or you can go to a mega carrier and get your license through them. That's what I did. I went through a mega carrier to get my CDL.
Who'd you go through? Road. What's the one company? Road. Starts with what's?
Oh, your Roadmaster?
Is that what it is? Yeah. Who'd you go through? Just curious.
I went through Prime Incorporated out of Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, okay. So now I actually I have a friend who owns his own. Okay, so let me go back. He owned his own little. I want to say little trucking company. It wasn't a little trucking company, but he had a trucking company, but actually he was at the time, or a transportation company, had a huge contract with the Columbus Public Schools here in the city. And then after a while, so and the school system has bus drivers, but they would also contract out for additional drivers for other companies, right? So his company would do that. They would pick up for the local public busing company too. They would also contract out sometimes for like their disabled people for their special runs for folks that have special privileges to do so. And then something happened where that contract fell through with the school system. So he decided to start his own school, CDL school. So briefly, when he first started that school, I was there, and I was like, learning about the trucking industry there. I wasn't there for long, but I was helping out as part of this program. And I was learning a lot about trucking. And I also had guys that would go through like those. And so when I say I had guys, so I may have had clients of mine, and all of my clients that were looking for jobs and things of that nature, they weren't all people with something in their background, folks, but a good amount of them did have something in their background, were of the thinking like, well, look, I can't afford to be at the mercy of someone hiring me or not hiring me. I need to be an entrepreneur. So I want to go get my CDL. And many of them could afford to go to school to get their CDL. Those that couldn't, they could find funding. But the problem became finding a company, one of those major carriers. We're not going to take a chance on somebody with something in their background. So they had to start off with smaller companies. And then now, look, and it didn't even take long. Like after one of my friends got the first assignment, he's gotten multiple, other companies come in looking for him to work for them because they just want to know he's got that experience. He's been doing this job, and so more money comes. So I'll say all that to say, tell us a little bit about going to CDL school. How long does it take, and how much does it normally cost, Green?
Now, depending on where you go, it's going to be anywhere between 3 to 6 weeks. Now, that's just for the schooling. Now, if you did like I did and go to a mega carrier, it extended a little bit more than that, because I started out learning how to drive around just, on the pad, learning how to back up. We were in the classroom. We took the actual written test, and then, we worked on, the pad, and then we kind of ventured out a little bit with someone, showing us the ropes. Then I went with a trainer. So all in all, before I was completely on my own, it was about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on, where you go. If you go to a local school or the community college, their standards may be, 6 weeks, it may be 9 weeks. It just depends on where you go and how extensive they want to teach you. So when you get out there, you have the, the necessary tools you need in order to start where you need to be. But typically you're looking at, on average, anywhere between 3 to 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Really quickly, IB Garage. That's not true. I know a double murderer who did 25 years and got a job trucking. I think what I said was that most major carriers will not hire you immediately the first time as a driver. And I know that is not even, well, that's not true all the time. No, that is hard to find a major carrier that would do it.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I know that smaller trucking companies are more inclined to give the chance, which I think it should be the other way around. I would think the smaller my company, the less chance I'm going to give them, because I can't afford for you to jack up my company. Whereas a major carrier, they have the insurance, they have the support, they have everything in place to ensure that person can be successful. So why wouldn't you make the chance? But anyway,
Like even here on YouTube, there's plenty of videos of guys saying, hey, I was kicked out of truck driving school at this mega carrier because I had this on my background. When I first started, there were 3 guys. I'll never forget it. We was out on the pad, and the recruiting manager came out there, and he was like, I need you, and you. And he pulled them to the side, and they were talking. We're not thinking nothing of it. We're nervous as hell. We don't know what we're doing. And so they came back, and it was like, all right, good luck, you guys. We'll see y'all later. We were like, where y'all going? Y'all going to, an advanced part of this or something? And now knowing that they weren't honest about what was on their background, and they sent them home.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
The
that's
mega
the
carriers.
thing. IB Garage says they know 10 mega carriers. So do me a favor, because I certainly know people who need to get hired. So please send me the email, Mr. IB Garage, because I want to know at least 5 of them. But if you know 10 that'll do it, please send it to me. Let me see if I can even find my here's my email address right there. Please, IB Garage, trust and believe. When I say I can use that information, I can use that information.
But
So
when they send it, make sure that they are completely sure about that, because we don't want to get folks out somewhere across the country.
I will never pass it on without verifying it, because I will call each and every one of those carriers and ask them directly to their HR.
Okay.
I know, obviously, I know a murderer right now who is driving his truck just fine. So yes, it can happen, but he did not start with a major carrier.
Yep.
And the other one that I know too that's driving, he's not, well, he might be a murderer, but he ain't go he ain't go to prison for murder. But what I will say is, I'm pretty sure he tried too, because a lot of the schools that I know some of these guys went to, those carriers come and do the recruiting right then and there. They interview with them on the campus, at the school, and they'll tell them right there what they'll accept and what they don't. The IB Garage, you said you can't see my email address right here on the screen where it says email v_Lenore_show@gmail.com. It's right here on the screen. See, I'm putting your comment up. When I take your comment down, bam, email address. Okay. All right, Kareem. All right. So now we know that. Now I will tell you this. Here's something I will tell people who are here in the chat. If you are interested in your CDL, there are programs in many cities that will pay for you to get it, as long as you don't already have a degree. You can't already have some sort of degree. If you don't have any degree at all and you ain't got no money, there's somebody that will probably be able to pay for you to go. Okay. Sometimes though, if you have something in your background, I know that there are certain schools that would not accept folks in their school because they felt like, so I'll give you an example. There was one gentleman in particular that was trying to find a company that would hire him. Okay. And excuse me. No, I take that back. He was trying to get into the school and he wanted to get the funds. So there was a community program that was offering funds, but the only way they would pay for him to get that schooling or to get those funds is he would also have to find, which I think is the dumbest thing. You'll see in a minute why I think this is so crazy. He would have to go find 2 companies that stated that they would be willing to hire him before he even goes to school, before he even has his thing. And I thought, well, that's crazy. But they said, and I said, well, if that's the case, then that means y'all have a job at the end of this, right? And they were like, no, they're not guaranteeing that they hire this person. They're just saying that I guess they're saying that this person would be eligible for hire. I don't know if that's what it is that they're looking to see, but I always thought that's crazy. So Kareem, you've heard that before?
I have heard stuff like that constantly. It can be, the trucking industry can be really weird sometimes like that. I've even heard of where they have programs, and depending on I guess your circumstances, where the program would only pay half of the schooling and you would have to come up with the rest, which is okay. You may be, Right. It may be 6,000.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to come up with 3,000. Okay. But yeah, I've heard some very strange, weird things. Like even some companies were taking hair follicles and stuff like that when you first come dry for them. Randomly doing hair follicle testing and things like that. Like it can get very strange at times. Some of the requirements that they want in order to be out here. Very strange.
Wow. Hold on one second. Dispatch Trucking Logistics, if you wouldn't mind, if you were willing to share any information about your company. You said that I would sponsor to help someone to change their life. Depending upon where you're located, I might be able to help with that. So that's one of the things, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. One of my main interests in this business is to help more people like the people that I've been mentioning. And if I could do any type of assistance on the front end to help with their professionalism and being able to vet them to see how consistent and reliable these folks are, I want to get into that whole recruiting aspect that you discussed before. So I want to talk about that. So if you are in that field, everyone, and IB Garage, that's also why I'm asking for these names. So thank you I see you're listing some of these companies in the chat. So that's why I'm asking for these types of details. Oh, wow. Says it needs drivers ASAP. Okay. So please send me an email. Let me know where you're located, that kind of thing. I might be able to help. All right. So, okay. So we've talked about getting payment for it. You said it could take upwards to 6 weeks. Now, here's another thing I saw in my time working with my friend over here at the trucking company. There would be people who could get through all the written textbook classroom stuff. But when it came to parallel parking, that bad boy, oh Jesus! In fact, without telling too much business, there was a lady over there. Now she had been driving school buses for years and years and years and years. But I guess there's a difference between driving the school bus and driving that truck. So she had become an instructor because they had cut back a little bit on the how many people could drive, the school buses. She had become an instructor at the school because she had an impeccable record. Mm-hmm. But she could not pass that doggone parallel parking thing. And they were like, well, I think she tried her best. Now she would go out there and be practicing, but she could not pull that sucker off. And she was teaching for a couple of months, I think, just in the classroom until finally they threatened her. I don't know who it is, but whoever gives the school their licensure was like, look, all the instructors have to be done with everything. I don't care what part you teaching. You got to be done with everything if you're going to be teaching in this school. So they pushed her and she got it done. But I was like, that would be me out there trying to figure out how to park that gas thing. Oh my God. It's crazy. But she was teaching for a long time. So do you know a lot of people who had trouble with that parallel parking?
We all did. We all did. Don't let nobody tell you that it was easy for them or they even now. I've been driving almost 18 years and there's still days where I'm like, man, I couldn't park this thing in the field. It's just like that. You figure. Yeah. But the one thing that we say out here is whenever you think you know it all or you get extremely comfortable in the truck, you need to get out of the truck. Because it's never the same out here. It's always changing. It's so, forever evolving that, you have to stay on your toes. And, when you start now, it's extremely scary. So everybody, I don't care who it is. I think for probably, when I finally was on my own, I was so terrified. I think for probably about 2 months straight, I didn't back in no spots. I would literally drive around the truck stop until I could find a spot to just pull right into because I was so
That would
terrified.
be
So
gosh.
it happens to all of us, everybody.
Oh wow. There was something else that I remember distinctly too that I was seeing from folks. The parallel parking was a matter that they couldn't shake. Oh. Well, let's move on for a second. So
Okay.
when drivers are attending the school, or when the drivers actually, when they're trying to become drivers and
Mhm.
they're attending that school, I know that at this particular school that I was over there at, they were bringing in people. I want to say at least 2 or 3 different times they had like opportunities for interviews with major companies would come to the schools and interview. How hard, if you in fact have nothing on your record, let's just say you have absolutely nothing on your record, you've passed the test with flying colors, you're ready to go, and you might even have a rig, what's the likelihood that you'll get hired quickly?
Oh, they'll take you right on. The mega carriers will take you right on. If it depends. Some of them, may want you to have experience already, but for the companies who do want to take on new drivers, they'll take you right on.
Okay.
They'll love to have you. Absolutely.
Okay, so just like the person in the chat, Dispatch Trucking Logistics said that they are looking for drivers right now. You mentioned that another way to get into this field is by potentially becoming a recruiter. And I was like, well, hell, that's right up my alley. I can do recruiting. I even know some potential folks to recruit. Now what? What do I do? So how does this work?
Recruiting is basically whatever, you'll go to companies and say, hey, I can help you guys get drivers. And you just let them know they need to give you a list of everything that they offer their drivers. And you just tell drivers, hey, I know this company, because, drivers, we're all different. Some of us like to stay out longer than others. Some of us, after a certain amount of time want, to kind of make a little bit more money. So you just kind of have those companies where when you talk to those drivers, they kind of mesh together and you just say, hey, well, I think, based on what you want, this company would be a good fit for you. And you get all their information, copy their driver's license and, everything that company requires in order to hire them on through the application process and, set them up with that company.
Okay.
Mhm.
Something else I was going to ask around that. So now I'm a very corporate person. Okay. I've only worked in corporate America. I've never really worked outside of that. And when I think about, who I would normally hire for a position, there's certain things I'm looking at, and reliability is one of them. But I have found that, there are a couple of guys in particular that I know that have gone between at least 3 different trucking authorities in the matter of a year. And I was like, that's not good. You can't be doing that. And the person was like, well, it's different. This is a different field. So what do you say about that?
It looks bad on paper, but unfortunately what happens in this industry way too often is they'll give you, the rainbows and, the glitz and glam of it all, and they'll promise you the world and, you're going to make $1 million. Like it, they'll tell you all kind of stuff. Then you get there and, you feeling it out, seeing how things go. And after a month or two, you're like, okay, well, maybe this thing will turn around. Then you give it 4 months, 5 months, and now you're starting to get close to almost being in debt. So you have to make a decision. Do you go further and hope that it gets better, or do you move on? So it's an unfortunate thing about this business. Sometimes they'll rope you in and with the promises and don't deliver on them, and you have to make a choice. So unfortunately, I've had to do it. Where everything starts off okay, or it starts off bad, and I'm saying, hey, what's going on here? And oh yeah, just it's a slow season. Like they'll give you all types of excuses, and before you know it, you're like, look, I can't. This ain't gonna work. I can't be out here away from home, sleeping in what's potentially the size of a master bedroom closet and not being compensated for that. So you have to do what you have to do. So I understand it on both ends. I can see how it looks bad, but sometimes you really have no other choice. You have to uproot yourself because this business is it can be very unforgiving, especially for drivers.
So, and that's what the person was kind of telling me, like, look, I couldn't stay in this position because they were making it unsafe for me to work. He was saying specifically, like, one company was trying to get him to work many hours longer than what was probably healthy. And then there was another company that the truck that they had him in, because he didn't have his own truck at the time, but the truck that they had him in was breaking down all the time. So again, he didn't feel it was safe then. He was like, I've blown this many tires and I've had to do this and all this has gone on, which also reminded me of that other thing that I thought was very interesting too about this industry. Now, obviously the guys, y'all probably know this, and the girls probably know this too. I just didn't know. I didn't know that just because if I decide I'm going to become a truck driver, that somehow me being a truck driver now means I'm a certified mechanic too? What the hell? I got to figure out how to fix my own damn truck and stuff? What kind of thing? I didn't know that. They were like, and one of my best friends, as a matter of fact, she and her husband own their own trucking authority for years. And she would be like, what you think how many times you think they're going to bring a tow truck out the truck to tow your ass, somewhere else, and all that money is not getting made. You better get out there and fix that thing so you can keep going and get to that check. So I was like, oh, okay. So what are we going to say?
Listen, when you have an issue and it's literally snowing like crazy and it's 17 degrees outside and it's something that you can fix, you'll get out there and MacGyver that thing up to keep it pushing to get somewhere safe. You don't necessarily have to know how to tear down a truck and rebuild it again, but it's always good to know a little something within your what you feel comfortable doing. I've changed, different things on a truck, and a guy be like, "Oh, is that your truck?" At the time, I'm like, "No, I'm a company driver." And they're like, "I wouldn't touch anything." I'm like, "Listen, the sooner that I can do this and get it over with, the sooner I know how to do it. So let me just do it, get it over with, so I can keep making money. It doesn't matter. It's not my truck." Right. And a lot of times, I was compensated for changing batteries and things like that, because it saved the company a bill. Give me a few $100 or whatever. I'll throw them in there, no problem. So, sometimes it helps you, even though you don't own the equipment, to keep you rolling and making money to, do, things that you feel comfortable doing.
Look at this. Summer Reese says, I know a driver friend that used to work in San Angelo, Texas. He had to switch up because did you mean Angelo or Antonio? Anyway. He had to switch up because the dispatchers were giving jobs to certain truckers. So do you see that happening? Like within one authority, this dispatcher is trying to hook up their friend to get them all the cash?
Yep, I see it all the time. And what's so crazy about it, you won't even know it till you run into another driver that works for that same company. And you'll be like,
oh, I'm sorry, Kareem. No, go ahead.
No, you're okay.
Now I was just going to tell you, I ain't out nowhere fixing nobody's damn tire, okay? I'll show a leg, throw a shoulder out there before I get out there. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I got my limits too. I know when I'm in over my head, I'll definitely call somebody and be like, look, I need some help. But yeah, it's Where was I going? I forgot. I lost my train of thought there.
I'm sorry, because I messed you up, I'm sure.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I'll read. Sarkono says, I have 2 roadside assistance plans to avoid having doing anything. If one is taking too long, I will call the other. I know how to change a tire, but I refuse. Exactly. You know how many times somebody showed me how? I ain't never did it. I don't know. I still don't know how. I learned by doing, and I ain't doing it. So I ain't got to learn. How about that? Okay. I got roadside assistance too, child. And any man who drives by, it was gonna be my roadside assistance that day. What then? Dispatch Trucking Logistics said bias is real in trucking. Bias is real. Oh yeah. You know what? That reminds me, because I knew somebody who was dating their broker, so you know they were getting a lot of business. And now that I know that that's what the broker does, makes all the sense. He was a truck driver. She was a broker. They hooked up. He was making plenty of money that year, I bet.
Oh yeah.
What I want to ask you about? Oh, okay. So with recruiting, let me ask you this: have you ever hired a recruiter, Kareem? Because this, how would, like, what would be a fair fee to charge someone? Like, if I'm a company who needs to hire, how do I make this make sense for me instead of paying somebody to do it?
In order for you to hire drivers, you mean?
Yeah.
If you don't want to go through a recruiter, you could place ads like Facebook ads, of course Instagram, Craigslist. There's different ways that you can get drivers. But if you would feel more comfortable with getting quality drivers that have experience, it might be best to get a recruiter that can, really go, help you go through the process of making sure that you pick the right applicant and the right driver.
And what fee do you think makes the most sense?
I'm not sure, because a lot of times what will happen is a company will say, we need, 5 more drivers. And, you'll have to say, okay, well, I want 200 per driver that I bring on, or, whatever you feel comfortable with. You'd have to negotiate with that company. So it just depends on what throw a number out there. They may say, oh, that's way too much. And then you say, okay, well, I'll do, 500 per person. It just kind of depends where you feel comfortable. But I would say start off high, and then see if you can negotiate your way somewhere in between where you don't feel like you're getting gypped. Where it makes sense for you to do it.
Okay. Is there anything that we're missing about this process that you want to touch on that we didn't touch
on? I would say whatever you are kind of curious about or want to get to know about the trucking industry, there's plenty of videos here on YouTube where you can just kind of watch and learn and get a little bit more familiar with it. Don't be afraid of the industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there is so many facets in this industry to make money. It's insane. Like, people are making money by getting old pallets and restructuring them and selling them back to places. It's so many ways to make money in the trucking industry that I think that, even if your family has some land that they're not using, if the city ordinance okay with trucks, being parked on that land, clear that land out and charge, $20 a week. Man, I'm telling you, drivers will load up in there. Put signs around, truck parking here, $20 a week. Man, that place will be full to the brim. We always need parking. So, I would say just figure out what you want to do in the trucking industry. Don't be afraid and learn. It's a learning process for all the time. All the time, you're constantly learning. So don't be afraid. Jump in it when you feel ready and you're comfortable, and get yourself started because the money's here. Things are tight right now.
Yeah.
The trucking industry is wild, it's crazy, but I still would say get into it, but just make sure that you're prepared. Be super uberly prepared. Don't go buy no equipment right now. I think that's a really bad idea unless you're going to get equipment that you can pay in full and it's, in really good shape, and that you got a lot of money put aside for just in case money. Because a lot of times what happens is people think, I got the money for if the truck break down. But yeah, you still have a driver who needs to pay his bills. He's just going to need to have a hotel room. He or she is going to need a hotel room until that truck is up and running. Or if it's going to be down for a few weeks, you might want to fly them home. Like you have to think about those just in case moments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about the numbers with trucking. You don't want to have too much overhead, and you got to know your numbers. Your numbers are super important. Know your numbers. And that goes for whatever you're doing, whether it's recruiting, dispatching, broker. Know those numbers. You have to know those numbers. And like I said, there's videos that are here on YouTube that breaks it all down. So, don't be afraid to get into the industry. But really, really do your research. Know what you're comfortable with, and go there. And don't be afraid to network. That's really going to help you a lot. Network.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're not sure, you're not you're uncomfortable, ask as many questions as you possibly can and get the help that you need. If it's easier for you to pass that paperwork on to let them file it to set your business up, you got to do it. Because you want to be compliant. You don't want to miss anything and that cause an issue for you. So, don't be afraid to network.
And people understand that networking with other folks if you're a driver, network with other drivers, network with other business owners, network with people who are doing the dispatching and the brokers. You want to get to know people on every level of the industry. And look, you talk to the network queen. I'm here to tell you, even if you don't get to know anybody but other drivers, do you know eventually, hopefully, if you pick wisely, if you're smart about who you associate with, they are going to eventually get successful. They will eventually become business owners. You may have to go work for them. Or if you're both business owners, you can learn best practices from one another. You may need to borrow drivers from one another. You never know how you all can balance and help each other grow to the next level. So networking is key, and I don't care what industry you're in. Get to know everybody on every level, because with listening to just the fact that the dispatcher is the one sending out the jobs, the dispatcher is probably the lowest paid person on that totem pole. I would wonder in most positions, but they making shot calls. I mean, basically they are making choices. And you want to be nice to these people, because again, you don't know when you might have to go work for them. They may have to come work for you, and you may need good quality people to work with you. And if you've met them and know them to be professional, that's who you want to. That's the first place I'm going to turn, is to the people doing the job and doing it well, for other references. Kareem, are you open to taking a few questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll just do this for about 15 minutes. I'll give people about 15 minutes. I'm going to drop the link. If you come up here, just know if I've never heard your voice before, I'm probably not going to let my banner down. Just so you know. So if I don't know you, that's why I'll leave the banner up. But I still want you to feel free to ask any questions. If I do know you, hey, Tweety was in the chat. I know Tweety's interested in the business. She probably has questions. Abso, you're a hot topic today. You may want to come up here and give us some insight, because didn't Abso say he drives? Or did he drive? I want to say he drives. I may have made that up. Abso, did I make I thought he drove. I don't know. So anywho, any other questions? Let's see. Sarkono says, my dad told me if there's something that you want in life, surround yourself with those who have it already or already doing it. That's right. That's right, baby. And that's how I choose my mentors. That's for doggone sure. Yes, Sarkono, what's your question? Uh-oh, here comes Absol. Hold on one second. Jill said networking is very important. I'm still learning more and more on how to run a successful business. That's right. You can never get too much good information.
Absolutely.
Hold on one second. Get my little cover and see who is at the door. Who is it? Who is it?
What's up, gang? What's up, buddy?
Hi, Absol, are you a truck driver?
No, I ain't no truck driver, man. But nah, I be listening to Kareem, like, because my dad used to do that shit. So I know what he be on. Like, he over the road, That's a little deep, man. How often you see your family, Kareem?
I usually typically stay out 30 days and then I go home for about 4 days.
Mm-hmm. That's long.
I know.
I hope you send your wife on long vacations and stuff when you come back home off the road sometime.
I do. If she want to go, we go. I don't argue. I do what she want to
do. Right. Ain't no time to argue. Shit.
Right.
She got to get away from the kids too, though.
Exactly. I know.
She needs.
But like I've tried to do the local thing, but the thing with local is it's almost like being on the road because they want to try to get as much work out of you as possible, and before you know it, by the time you get home, you're so dead, tired that all you want to do is eat and go to sleep. And before you know it, you're right back up and you're back on the job. And then you look at your paycheck.
You can't do that though, Kareem. You know what I mean? You can't do that though.
What's that?
I know that's what you be feeling like doing, but you can't do that. You can't go home and go to sleep. You got to show her some. You feel me?
No. I'm saying like when I tried local driving, it was almost
Yep. I hear you. Nah, I got you, bro. Yeah.
Sarkonos, what's your question? Oh, here comes Dispatch Trucking Company. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Put my thingamajig.
Damn, Kareem, boy. Nigga, you be on the road like 4 days in a row.
Hold on one second. Hold on.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Dispatch Trucking Logistics. I was trying to change my avatar, but I couldn't. It didn't change. So you can see my picture of who I am.
What's your name again? Your first name?
My name is Sabrina, but my company name is Dispatch Trucking Logistics, LLC. I'm not new. Yeah, I'm not new to YouTube, but yeah. I thank you and hello everyone. Hello, Mr. Kareem. Who else is up here?
Hello.
Absolute.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
And thank you, Miss Bina Noor, for bringing me on. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming. I've seen you the last few shows, so thank you for coming by.
Yes. So, Mr. Kareem, are you still doing YouTube videos?
I stopped doing them. I want to get back into it, but I stopped doing them.
Okay, I was wondering because I haven't seen, I watch a lot, truckers, everything. But I wanted to come on to add on to some of the things, that you were talking about, if you don't mind. And I want to also ask you too, Mr. Green, are you owner operator or are you owner or what is your... Right
now I'm doing a lease to own right now, a 2-year lease to own.
Okay.
Are you trying to own? You trying to own, Kareem?
Yeah, this will be my 6th truck.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I bought
you in a Peterbilt? You in a Peterbilt?
No. Not this is an international, but I've had a Peterbilt before. I sold that right before COVID.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted, to touch on, about being an owner of a trucking company. I don't own any equipment, and so some of the questions that you was asking, Miss Vina Lenore, you don't have to own equipment to have a trucking company. I have done a lot of leasing of rentals. I mean, that can get expensive as well, but like Mr. Kareem was saying, right now, trucks are doubled, tripled the price when you used to could get. Now I do different type of equipment, box truck and semi. So back then, like 2, 3 years ago, you could get it for like 15,000 as a box truck, 30,000 for a semi.
They a
Now
hundred
it's
thousand.
triple, double.
Yeah, they
So
100,000 now.
for you, that's you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm not trying to, talk over no one. But
No, I ain't trying to talk over you. I apologize, but I'm saying they 100,000 now, right?
yes, and more, it depends. But there are still trucks out there that they are hidden, I would say. They're like mom and pop or retired, older person that's sitting in somebody's yard, but who would know unless you know
Mm.
someone that knows that person got a truck sitting around to get a good deal like that now, you know?
With some
Yeah,
diesel fuel, with a little diesel fuel sitting next to it.
right. Yes. But it's so expensive to maintain the business now. So expensive. And it's like I just wanted to just say, be real about it. And everything is not all peaches. Like when you see the videos and everything, some videos don't tell you the downside of it, you know. And so I like to tell people the good side and the downside of it. Yes, you can make decent money, earn very decent pay, but when things are at the present, they will change. But I suggest, like, if you're going to start your trucking company, do you mind? Am I going too far, Miss V. Lenore?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go right ahead. Because there's something you
Oh,
made me think of a couple of things. But go ahead.
Yeah, hey,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
anyone,
And I won't cut you off no more. I just want to say something real quick. But yeah, you saying a lot of real stuff, man. Like, and that's what I was saying, Kareem. Like, damn, yeah, man, you got it good, bro. Because it could be different. You feel me?
Real quick, it could, but I've learned that in this business, you have to set yourself up for success. I don't
Mm-hmm.
let anybody at this point in my career dictate how my career is going to go.
Right.
I seen the writing on the wall that a recession was coming when everybody else was partying and trucking. And like you said, when talking about the good and the bad, you have to set yourself up where the bad you can power through it.
right,
And a lot of people, they don't. That's when they start getting upset about trucking and looking at trucking in a negative light, because when you set yourself up correctly in this business, you can power through. It'll be tough, but you can get through it. But that's why I say you have to know your number.
I mean,
You
but it
have
gotta be tough. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Kareem, for real. But it
Well,
gotta be tough, bro.
and then
yeah,
we
like
have to be clear about something. Anybody who decides that they want to start a business, there are always going to be aspects to being a business owner that you are not going to like. In fact, some of it's going to be very painful sometimes to get through. And my friends that own their own trucking company, one thing my girlfriend used to say, her husband was the driver, right? And she was, I mean, she worked a full-time job, but she handled the books and stuff at
She
home.
was dispatcher.
No, she wasn't a dispatcher, but she just sort of, she did the taxes and payroll, stuff like
I
that.
got you. I got
But
you.
what one thing she used to say is like, we would make a lot of money, but then it'd be just our luck, something would break down on the truck and be the most expensive thing. You put all your time and money in getting that truck fixed, only for a few more months to pass and something else, another truck breaks down, or something else on that truck breaks down. So what you guys are saying, Kareem and Oh,
You can call me Sabrina. I'm just,
Sabrina.
you know my name
Okay.
now. Yeah. Next time I come on with my picture, my actual picture of me,
Okay.
or
And
myself.
Sabrina,
Yeah.
what both of you are saying is about, being prepared for stuff like that to happen. Know that it's going to happen. Don't let that deter you. Just, create some sort of cushion. So, maybe it's not the smartest thing to buy your truck just because you can and all of that. You might want to be putting some money to the side so that you can, save up enough so that when you are able to buy that truck, as soon as it breaks down, you're not out of work and can't get it fixed.
And it's a stumbling effect though, V.
Right.
Like when your transmission go bad, your engine go bad.
Right.
When your engine go bad, your training get burnt out by your training. I mean, your engine get burnt out by your training. You know what I
I
mean?
just,
Your
right.
alternator start going wrong, then your motherfucking shit. It's back to back, man.
I just wanted to give, add on, some more value. As much Mr. Kareem has added a lot of value,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate it. I'm enjoying this. This is right down my line. Business, it don't have to be trucking. It's business, period. I'm all on it, like right on rice,
Well, Mr. Brandon, look, this is a question that Sarkonos in the chat had for Kareem, but I'm going to pose it to you in particular.
Okay, let me see. How can I see the chat? Let me see.
Well, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it out to you.
Okay.
It says, I see Kareem is in the dark. I know he is a whole grown man and whatnot, but is he ever nervous about being alone at night? I watch too much ID channel. I would stab a squirrel if he made a sudden move.
Sarkonos is silly, man.
So Kareem, grown ass man, do you get scared out there sometimes?
Kareem, you scared out there, bro?
Not at all. Not at all.
They coming for you, guy.
But you know what?
I'd be scared. What about you, Sabrina?
Well, like I don't drive. I sit back and I delegate.
Right.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't drive the truck. I just collect the money and do the dispatch. Tell you where you need to go, and that's what I do. Most of my drivers, that owner operators. That's what I'm doing now. I'm looking for owner operators. There's a difference in having company drivers and owner operators.
Yeah.
So owner operators, you're your own boss, but you're under my, company or another company's authority. And so that's what I'm into now is
You
because
low-key a bail bondsman.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
She's a contractor.
For me, that's what she is, low key. Like
contract with her.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, but being an owner operator, you have more advantage than being a company driver because these companies, even though I'm a company, but I don't lowball my drivers. If they were to come in as company drivers, like for an example, like when we get our rate con, the rate con is the load that you're gonna get, and it's gonna give you basically it is your invoice. That's what a rate con is. So if I get a rate con, I get a load. I know that load is paying like 2,500, 35. But I'm just putting out a number. I pay my driver. If you're working with me as a company driver, I'll pay you 25% of that load. Most companies pay you by the mileage as a company driver, and they're under 50 cents a mile. Nobody can't make it out here with that. Without that driver, you're not going to have a company. And a lot of companies out here, they'd be greedy and think about themselves, but think about who's helping you get that money, and you got to treat your people right. When you treat your people right, your company will grow.
But when them companies got all them damn drivers, they don't even give a damn.
Well,
you get what I'm saying? Like when you got mom and pop shops, companies, it's different than when it is when you got a company that U-Haul and shit like that. You feel me?
I hear what you're saying.
They got fleets and shit.
I have a fleet. Okay. Every company is different. Every company owner is different.
Right.
Everybody is
Right.
not the same, but I agree with what you're saying. Am I speaking with Absolute?
No, I understand what you're saying, Mama.
Oh,
I
okay.
understand.
Yes.
Yeah, that was absolute.
Okay, yeah, every company, is different, and that's the way. And by me knowing that how these companies, as you're saying, absolute can be, I want to be one of the companies that's not that company.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
that's
I
that's where
understand.
I'm going with that. And also, I'm not gonna babble on, but I'm just saying I have other options that I give, people that come aboard with me and everything, give them options to be not just a worker, be a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Elevate. We elevate together. This
Right.
type of business that I'm running, but it's just been hard finding loyal people. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I
Yeah.
I'm still not going to change that concept that I have, and I've had my downside of experiences and things of that sort, but you live and you learn and you just be more careful the next time of who you
Yeah.
hire.
Each
You
one
know,
six things.
I hire felons all the time, give them a chance at everything. uh, I have stories, but this is not my, but I'm just saying, I've had things that has happened on the downside and everything and lost contracts behind it, helping someone else that didn't really want the help and to mess my company up at the same time. So yeah, it's a good side, it's a bad side, but there is money to be made even
Hey,
now.
did it affect anything in your future though?
No, it only made it stronger
Right.
because that made my game look, as you say, elevate your end game, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped doing just drivers and just went to owner operators, because if you're investing as an owner operator, you have some investments that
Yeah.
you have to, when
Yeah.
you have something to invest, what is it to them? It's not their money.
How
Right.
long have you had your business again, Sabrina?
I'm going on a year now, and as I was saying to you in the chat, you can look up any business. Anybody can come and tell you I got a business, but you know for yourself, batten me up, Mr. Kareem, that you could go on the Safer website, and this is not what the YouTube stuff is, but we're discussing business because this is public information. You go
Mm-hmm.
on the Safer website, you Google Saferware from the FM. I always get those words right or wrong. FMCSA. I might say it backwards. You go up there now and look, and I gave you the DOT number in the chat, but I
Oh,
mean,
I didn't see that. Okay.
yeah, you can look it up live. You go ahead if you like. I don't mind. It's not.
No,
It's
no,
not.
trust me. No, don't worry about that. I just wonder how long
Yeah, don't
you've
worry
had
about
your business.
that. V. Lenore
Um,
gonna take her ass over there.
well, I will be doing that too. But no, I was just
Funny.
I was just wondering, as a woman in this industry, what made you start this company then?
Okay, I initially started off as, I believe it was Miss Lacona's. Somebody in the chat was talking about they had been watching videos of dispatching, right?
Oh, might have been Tweety maybe or someone. Okay,
Okay, I seen it in the chat. So I started watching videos on how to become a dispatcher, right? And
mm-hmm.
to dispatch the load. And I took the training. It was a YouTuber. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. And I went on their channel and I started watching them. And they had a class on dispatching. So I took a class. So
Email me this information, okay?
okay, I will. But see, now you don't need that class. Well, that person, you don't have to spend your money. I can tell you how to start dispatching. Okay,
Oh,
you
okay.
you don't have to spend your money. If you choose, I mean, you can. But I'm just
No,
saying.
I do. I'm interested in the dispatching and the recruiting piece of the
Okay,
business.
and the recruiting part, I know you would be good, great, excellent in the recruiting. Just your vernacular of your tone, your speech. I mean, like you and what you do on your channel already, interview. Oh, that fits you perfect. And I want to let you know, don't let no one get over on you, no company, and try to lowball you on your prices. Your your fee is your fee. Don't settle for low, okay? Because you're adding value. You're giving companies value, okay? So, for an example, for you to recruit, all right, you came to me and say we didn't even have this live or whatever, and you came, just networking and hey, listen, dispatch, I'm XX company. I'm a recruiter company, and this is what we offer. So you start writing down, what are you going to offer for your recruiting? Now, what I mean by that, Miss
I already know.
Lenore,
Let me ask you this, because these are a couple of things that I would say right off the bat. I would do some pre-training with my candidates. I would do all their background checks, and I would
There's some game lights going on, Kareem.
okay, hold on. This is very important right now. Please hold on.
I'll just say
when I
this.
say training, I don't mean like the CDL stuff. I mean workplace etiquette, business, etiquette, type of training I would do with folks. And I would also help them with their, with their interviewing and just with workplace etiquette in general. And also do the background checks.
Okay. So with that right there, what you just told me, I'm acting like right now you're recruiting me as a recruiter to come in recruit for my company. I'm just saying, okay? So those are the first thing the company will want to know. Now, how long is your service? What levels are your service? Okay. You can have gold. I'm just saying, you can make it any names you want. Premium, whatever levels that you want. Okay, this is my consultant to you as being a recruiter. Yeah. Okay, start high, don't start low. Okay, and you open up the doors more. So there's companies that does recruiting for mid-level 1,500, smaller level 750 per person. This way you're adding value. You're showing these companies that, hey, listen, I'm not no fly-by-night recruiter.
Right.
Oh, yes. Hold on for a minute. Let me get rid of the noise real quick. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're all right, mama, man. But also you gotta understand that, I mean, if you ain't willing to learn, you ain't gonna learn none of that shit though. Like she's saying a lot of shit, and this shit can go over your head if you ain't listening.
But that don't have nothing to do with listening and learning. This is her as becoming a recruiter to start herself.
No, dispatch. I'm talking about you. If they ain't listening to what you're saying, they ain't gonna. It just ain't gonna mean nothing.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Only the people that care, they're the only ones listening anyway. So trust and believe. Those that really want to do this and is serious about, making a change and having a quality business, they're listening. But
right. That's why I was lost with that, because you must invest in your business. You must invest in yourself. If you want to advance, you must spend money to earn money.
Well,
but
gamble on yourself, man.
Right. Okay. What I wanted to ask was, I'm an owner operator, right? And let's say I'm looking to lease on to your company, and this will help you, Ms. V. So I want to ask you, okay, what do you offer for your owner operators to sign on to lease on with you?
85%. I'll take 15%. If you come in, only thing I would ask is so the insurance won't have to keep changing, as we went over that. You went over that in the video. I would ask you to put the first portion of the insurance, the second portion, which is the cargo and the liability up under the company name, so this way it won't have to change anything, and I still keep my portion of the general liability.
Right.
You don't have to pay me for the insurance, but that insurance premium still has to be paid.
Right.
How some companies want every week you got to pay X amount of dollars, but that's what I asked. Like, okay, well, that's your portion of your premium, because I'm not looking for you to pay for the company.
Right.
For your portion of running. So you get your own quote and you have your own rate. So this way I can't tell you, oh, well, the insurance is $2,300 and next month is $4,800. No, exact, because you have control of your own quote and your own insurance company. I like being transparent, and I'm very transparent with my rate cards. What I do with the rate cards, a lot of companies, I haven't heard of any companies do what I do to actually forward you the actual rate card. So some companies could tell you, oh, I'm dispatching. I could tell you, hey, look, here's $6,500 for this load. I'm telling you this verbally. No, you need to see that. And that 15% of that $6,500 is actually coming out, not by just what I've verbalized.
All right, so dispatch. Let me ask you this, love. So is you got insurance to your drivers?
This is what we're going over now. The insurance, the drivers have to put the insurance under the company's name. Only two portions: the auto liability and the cargo. Now, our company will keep the general liability under our name. So this way, each driver that comes on don't have to keep adding drivers.
Right.
I mean, you get where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah, I get you.
Let me ask you this. So, two things. So my first question was going to be to Kareem. Kareem, would you mind coming back in about 2 weeks to do a members only live where we can have people kind of go back, do some research? Maybe if they're really interested in getting started, they can come back with questions and we can dive a little deeper.
Absolutely.
And then my second question was going to be to Miss Sabrina. Would you mind coming for that session as well?
Absolutely, and I'll come live on camera. Yes.
Okay, well, we'll be on Zoom, so we might not even do it out in the open like this. It will probably be a Zoom where everybody, may or may not be.
I want to get in your Zoom, punk.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
I said, V, I want to get in your Zoom, punk.
And I'm gonna leave
everybody's welcome for a fee. Okay.
Yes.
Because I want to hear it, man. I want to hear what Kareem got to say for real about that trucking industry, man. Because my uncle and my dad did that shit, and that ain't no easy industry.
No, it's not. But no industry is. But what I do know is that the demands are so high right now. I just can't imagine. Look, it doesn't seem like the hardest one to get into. If you're in there and really willing to do the work, I think you can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it happen. Yeah, you can definitely make it happen. But it's just hard. Kareem, am I lying?
No, it's not hard.
It's a lonely world, ain't it?
It depends on.
I ain't capping, man. It's good money, but it's a lonely world, ain't it?
It depends on how you look at it. If you're saying from a driver's point of view, it can be at times. But I'm also the type of person that I don't like nobody looking over my shoulder. I don't like nobody telling me what I need to do. I like that I'm in control of what I'm doing in order to make my money. And I can go deeper into that when we talk about it on the Zoom, because there's a way where you can do this and make really good money and not have to have as much coming out of your pocket. There's ways of doing it. So you have to, but I'm gonna leave that for when we get deep into it. But it it can
Hey,
be a
hey,
lot,
hey,
but
hey, Kareem, you got a bunk, you got a bed in your shit, or you got
yeah,
just the front?
You
yeah, I
can ask
got
them all these questions on the Zoom. Ask
Look,
them.
yeah, I'm all interested. Look, cause you got this be one. This is the shit I think about, man. Yeah, cause I
Okay.
Okay.
really I wanted to be a truck driver, but I didn't want to be on the road by myself like that.
Why? You at home by yourself right now?
Yeah. I mean,
All
no,
right
I'm
then.
at
Then you
home
can
by
be on the
myself,
road
but I
making
go to
some money. I ain't lonely with my money.
very silly, very,
Yeah, like that.
very silly as hell.
All right. Thank y'all for letting me come on. And
Miss
I'm not
Sabrina,
going to get too further and deep in it, but when we have the Zoom, I'm going to tell you how you can start this business even without you doing just what you're doing right now, sitting and talking and um getting a fleet. You can do this. You don't. And some people don't even have to have a CDL. Some can have
yep.
a box truck.
oh
Everybody
wow.
doesn't have a CDL.
Oh, we got to
Yeah.
talk then. Well, look, Miss Sabrina, can you please? Did you see my email address?
Yes, I did. I also put my email address in the chat as well.
Do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind just sending me an email with you, just say, hey, wanted to, tell you this was me, and I will go ahead and I'll make sure when we schedule that I talk to you and Kareem on the front end, so that way we can
Okay.
plan out that Zoom.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
I
Start calling her. Shit.
okay. I
Hey,
got
it was good
you.
seeing you. It was good seeing you, dispatcher. Hey, shut up, start
Thank
calling.
you for having me on, and thank you, Mr. Kareem and Miss Lenore,
Thank
and
you.
absolute and the
Yeah,
chat. Thank
it
y'all.
was good seeing you, love.
Thank
Absolutely. Thank you. It was good
All right.
talking with you.
Same here. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. Well,
What you say,
Axel, we're going
Kareem?
to say goodbye to you as well at this time. Thank you so much for coming up. I thought for sure you were, I just figured you knew a little bit more than the average person. I didn't know your dad had been a truck driver, so now that makes
Yeah,
sense.
my
Why
dad
you-
and my uncle, man. But nah, it was good coming up, man. I just wanted, hey,
Yeah.
Kareem, man, keep your head up, man. Stay straight out there, man. Be safe. You hear me?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Life is crazy, man. But all right, V, I love you too, bro.
Love you too. Be good, okay?
100. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Absolutely.
100.
All right, Kareem, thank you so much. This was very informative. I thought, oh, we'll do a solid hour in and out. People had questions. It was a very good, insightful conversation, and I'm ready to make this money right now. So I'm going to look at the calendar. We'll get this scheduled, and we'll go from there. But I want to thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And like I say, I really want to help as much as I can. So if there was anything that I didn't quite, cover, you have my email, feel free and I'll try to help out whoever as much as possible.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kareem.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Be careful. Seriously, be careful out there.
Yes, ma'am. I will. I promise.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Well, that is our show for tonight. I want to thank all of you for being here. I think we got some really great nuggets out of tonight. I know I'm inspired. And hopefully once I get those, the dates scheduled for the Zoom, it'll be in the evening. It won't go more than 2 hours, but I will tell you exactly how long it'll be once I've talked to both Kareem and Miss Sabrina about it. Okay. But trust me, daughter Holiday, was good stuff. So just girl, that replay is our best friend. This is one of those lives where I'll be going back anyway and re-listening anyway, just to take notes because there was good stuff. So if you all are interested in the upcoming Zoom, this will be for the second tier, the $7.99 and above tiers would be invited to this this Zoom. And let me just say this. Business owners or people who really say they want to be business owners, the first investment is in yourself. And spending $7.99 to get a 2-hour or 1 to 2 hour class on details that are going to help you have a successful career, is worth it. I don't know many other places you can go for $7.99 and learn all about a new career. So even if you just join the membership for 1 month, trust and believe we'll make it worth your while. Okay, so be here for that. I will be bringing on other guests. I'm getting my calendar together because I know I got membership, so I got to come with the content. So we're going to get this scheduled together. I've got some great lives I've promised. We're going to make sure you see some of that this month, as well as doing some Zooms with, at least 1 or 2 special guests. I'm going to try and make that happen as well. Maybe I can get one of the celebrity guests to come and do a Zoom with us. So if you are interested, please join the memberships. The membership link is at the top of the chat. So if you have other show ideas, though, that you want to throw out there, please be sure to contact me. I've shown my email address, but you can also hit me up via Instagram. Hell, here's how you can tell me about some show ideas. All right, everybody. So again, to everyone in the chat, thank you for everybody who did become a member tonight. Membership does have its privileges, and you're just going to see how many privileges and how privileged you're going to be. I'm excited. So we're going to do a lot of fun stuff, and we're going to do some stuff that's not so much fun, but it's going to make us better people, better business owners, better parents, better healthy humans, better community members, just better. Okay? So I hope to see you back. Please join the membership if you are interested. But nevertheless, I'm always happy to see your beautiful, darling little penmanship in the chat. Okay. Hi, Shell Loves. Thank you, Shell. Thank you, my love. Yes, I really do thank all of the guests. Miss Sabrina for coming up and sharing her insight as a female in this industry. And of course, our very own Kareem the Trucker. We thank you for being here and sharing your great insight. And Absol, we're just happy you're here, that you are still here, homie. Okay, you were a hot topic all day, and I have the pleasure of having you on my panel, and I'm grateful for that as well. Okay, so keep on trucking, baby, as Fedora said. And I will see you all next time. Thank you to my beautiful moderator, Miss Fedora. You are holding it down today by yourself, and I appreciate you, sweetheart. I think I'm coming back tomorrow. If I come back tomorrow, I don't know what I'm talking about yet, but I'm going to try and come out here. I got to make a point to get my butt out here every day. Okay. So I'm going to try my best to come tomorrow. Maybe with some entertainment news and stuff tomorrow, unless I can drag somebody over here to interview. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, and in between time, you all stay safe. Be good. Know that I love you. And I'll see you next time. All right? Smooches.